A mass shooting in Virginia kills 2 people and wounds 5 more. Some of those shot were Norfolk State University students. This was written by Tina Burnside and Holly Yan for CNN, originally published on September 4th, 2022. A mass shooting on Sunday has to be the Christian nation of the United States of America. It has to be. 7 people were struck by gunfire overnight in Norfolk, Virginia, including several university students, officials said Sunday. Officers responded to the 5000 block of Killam Avenue around 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and found 4 women and 3 men had been shot, Norfolk Police said. All 7 victims were taken to a hospital. 2 of them, Zabre Miller, 25, and Angelia McKnight, 19, later died from their injuries, Norfolk Police said. Rest in peace to them. Condolences to their family. It's sad that a story like this probably will not get mainstream media attention. But these 2 young people had their lives snuffed out because in the United States of America, we believe it is worth it for Americans to have the right to have a gun, regardless of how many people get shot or killed every year, how many of our children die in schools, how many of our old people get shot up in churches, how many people get killed every day in the streets of America. Citizens in this country do not think that this warrants abolishing the Second Amendment or actually having real sensible gun control. We can't be like Germany. We can't be like Italy. We can't be like France. We can't be like Canada, where it's sensible gun control policy. We have to continue this level of bloodshed in the United States. And for anybody who's going to say that the shooter was a criminal and criminals don't care about getting guns legally or care about the law if we ban guns, in other countries where there were mass shootings, such as Australia, such as New Zealand, they've made it much harder for people who are criminals to get guns. And since then, in those countries, there have not been mass shootings. How come this can be done in New Zealand and Australia and almost every other country in the world? Literally almost every other country in the world cannot have mass shootings as frequently as the United States, and still Americans will say it's impossible. This is a tragedy. This should be a national tragedy. It's covered on CNN, but I doubt that this will be the topic of the week, actual gun control, because too many people will come out and say all the talking points that they've been fed all their lives by people who have a vested interest in making sure that you continue to buy guns because they get money from gun manufacturers. Yes, the same gun manufacturers who get billions of dollars in contracts from the U.S. government to sell them weapons so they can bomb Yemeni children and do terrorist activity to Syrians and Somalians all across the world. The United States has done terrorism across the world. And they get their weapons from the same gun manufacturers who make billions of dollars every year selling these weapons to citizens. And then they want to tell you it's your right. It's your goddamn right to have a weapon, regardless of how many of our kids get killed in schools and how many people get shot up in supermarkets and how many underreported mass shootings like this happen in the United States. If you don't believe me, go check out the rest of the content on my channel. There have been 537 mass shootings in the United States in 2022 alone. That's more than 2 per day, and a mass shooting is when 4 or more people are shot or killed at one time by guns. Norfolk State University said some of the shooting victims were students at the university, but did not specify how many or whether they survived. Norfolk Police have informed us that several NSU students have been the victims of a shooting at an isolated off-campus location near 50th Street and Hampton Boulevard, the university tweeted. NSU police have secured the NSU campus. Counseling is being made available for any student in need of services. Norfolk Police have not released any information about a possible motive or suspect. As homicide detectives continue to investigate this early morning shooting, they ask for anyone with information about this incident to contact the Norfolk Crime Line at this number or submit a tip through the P3 Tips mobile app, Norfolk Police said. The U.S. has suffered at least 456 mass shootings so far this year. They might be counting it at 5. 5 or more people being shot. I counted at 4. Different metrics, all way outside the bounds of what's acceptable and normal compared to any other post-industrialized first world nation. According to Gun Violence Archive, both the nonprofit and CNN define mass shootings as incidents in which 4 or more people are shot, excluding the shooter. Okay, so they exclude the shooter. I include the shooter in mass shootings. I look at that as a, if the shooter is shot by the cop or if the shooter kills himself, I consider that a part of the shooting victims, right? That's my metric. That's an average of more than 1.8 mass shootings every day so far. CNN's Michelle Watson and Mary Kay Maloney contributed to this report. So I hope the students that got shot fully recover. I hope the families of the victims find some closure and there's some justice in this case. But for young people who are watching this video, if you go to Norfolk State University or if you are from Virginia and you're a young person who knew one of the people who were killed, oftentimes in my comments I get people saying I knew those people or those were my friends or I was at that party, etc., etc., etc. This happens way too often, so I see those sorts of comments. If you know these people, think about this. What can you do with your life, because you're blessed to have your life, to make the world a better place so that your friend's memory will not go in vain and so that we can make this a society where this does not happen to university students? How about we all take up this mantle, this movement to get rid of the guns in the U.S.? It might seem impossible because we're fighting against forces that are way bigger than us. We're fighting against the NRA. We're fighting against the gun manufacturers. We're fighting against a mindset in America that has been ingrained and indoctrinated in us since we were born. We are told all of these lies that the Second Amendment protects our democracy and protects us. But it doesn't. It doesn't. It just allows more and more Americans to hurt each other and be hurt by senseless gun violence. If you don't believe me, go look at the video I made about gun violence statistics. It's deep in my archives, but it's here on this same channel. And just do the research yourself and continue to follow my content, because unfortunately this will not be the last mass shooting in the United States of America. My name is Simon Hill. Thank you for watching.